G'mar Chasima Tova, and welcome to the Musar Torah podcast for Parshas Vayeilech. Join us as we explore the weekly Parsha, uncovering valuable insights and striving to become the best versions of ourselves through Musar teachings. This week, Baruch Hashem, we have a new sefer contributing to our podcast. It came out as of this recording, brand spanking new, and it's called Timely and Timeless: Insights and Ideas on the Parsha by Rabbi Yecheskel Weinfeld, the Rav of Beis Medrash Lev Avraham in Eretz Yisrael. This book was translated by Rabbi David Bogolopsky, and I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I am excited to share some of its wisdom with you today. Near the end of this week's Parsha, Moshe delivers what seems like a deeply pessimistic assessment. It's in Devarim, Perek Lamed Aleph, Pasuk Chaf Zayin through Chaf Tes, and I'm going to read to you just the English of this, where it says, "Behold, while I am still alive with you today, you have been rebellious against the Lord, and how much more so after my death? Gather to me all the elders of your tribes and your officers, and I will speak these words into their ears, and I will call heaven and earth to witness against them. For I know that after my death you will surely become corrupted and turn aside from the way that I have commanded you, and evil will befall you at the end of days, because you will do what is evil in the eyes of Hashem, to provoke him with the work of your hands." At first reading, this seems devastating. Here is Moshe Rabbeinu summing up his time as leader of Bnei Yisrael, and he appears to view it as a complete failure. It was bad, it is bad, and it'll get worse. Why does Moshe say this now? What makes him so profoundly disappointed? However, Rabbi Weinfeld suggests that what Moshe tells Bnei Yisrael can be looked at in another way, and we don't even need to squint to see this. Moshe is actually telling Bnei Yisrael that in spite of all their setbacks, he never gave up on them. Yes, optimism is wonderful, but only if it includes realism. Moshe is telling Bnei Yisrael that despite all of their failures, they ultimately reached Eretz Yisrael. Once they enter, there will be even more setbacks, but they should not give up on the belief that the ultimate end will be good, even though it won't happen right away. This isn't pessimism. It is steadfast commitment in the face of harsh reality. This message becomes especially important during these Aseres Yemei Shuvah. How often is it that we approach this period with unrealistic expectation? We expect immediate and complete change in our lives, and when we don't see dramatic transformation right away, we become despondent and give up on trying. Rabbi Weinfeld's insight reminds us that if we understand that every attempt we make can bring us closer to our goal, we won't abandon our efforts when progress feels slow. As Rav Hutner Zecher Levracha wrote in a famous letter to one of his Talmidim, "A tzaddik falls 7 times, but then gets up." The key insight here is that falling doesn't disqualify someone from being a tzaddik. Not getting back up is what disqualifies them from being a tzaddik. Here's a crucial point that we often forget. The successes we achieve do not dissipate when we have a setback. Progress isn't erased by temporary failures. In the end, we can get to where we want to be, but the path is rarely straight. Moshe knew his people were Am Kshei Oreh, a stiff-necked people, but Rabbi Weinfeld points out something beautiful. This precisely enables us to stay committed to achieving our goals, even in the face of repeated failures. What looks like stubbornness from one angle looks like perseverance from another. Throughout history, Klal Yisrael has suffered tremendous persecution. Many had opportunities to make their lives significantly easier by converting to the predominant religion of their time and place. However, they remained steadfast in their beliefs. Think about this. We are saying Slichos now, and many of these prayers were written during the times of the Crusades. This was a period of unimaginable suffering and humiliation for being Jewish. Yet, our ancestors stayed loyal to Hashem's word. They embodied that same stiff neck that refused to bend, even under the most extreme pressure. This historical perspective should give us confidence and prevent us from despair when our own spiritual challenges seem overwhelming. As we move through these final days before Yom Kippur, let's reframe how we think about our spiritual struggle. When you find yourself falling back into old patterns, when your resolutions feel shaky, when progress seems impossibly slow, remember Moshe's message. He never gave up on his people, even knowing their tendencies toward rebellion. He understood the journey would be long and difficult, but he maintained faith in the ultimate destination. Similarly, we need to develop that same stiff-necked determination in our spiritual growth, not the kind of stubbornness that refuses to admit mistakes, but the kind that refuses to give up on the possibility of change. This Yom Kippur, let's embrace both the realism and the hope that Moshe demonstrated. Yes, we will face setbacks. Yes, change is difficult and often slow. But yes, we can reach our spiritual destinations if we maintain that essential quality of never giving up. Our stiff neck, that trait that sometimes causes us trouble, can become our greatest asset when channeled toward perseverance in Avodas Hashem. May we all be blessed with a Gemar Chasima Tova, and may this year bring us the strength to persist in our spiritual growth, no matter how many times we stumble along the way. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Musar Torah podcast. Until next time, may we all merit to embody the holy stubbornness that keeps us moving toward our highest aspiration. Have a good Shabbos, and may we all be sealed for a good year.